we're going to talk about the fifth. Yes. Now I'm going to talk about the fifth Mickey Mouse short, the second, released in 1929, supposedly, whatever, the Opry House. Now, this is interesting because Minnie isn't in it, actually. It's just Mickey. In fact, Mickey is in this a lot. It's mainly Mickey. Now, this was sort of a different thing from particularly the Barn Dance, and especially I think from many of the cartoons of the early Mickey Mouse thing, is they really were trying to do more with the animation. They're trying to show off more. They're trying to do more with the characters. In fact, Walt Disney has a quote, "Our characters beginning to act and behave like real persons. Because of this, we could begin to pull a real feeling and charm into our characterization. After all, you can't expect charm from animation sticks, and this is what Mickey Mouse was in his first pictures." I guess it's a weird one because Mickey Mouse is sort of outside of a theater. He's sweeping up and all this stuff and just messing around. You're not really sure. I guess he works there at first. And then he sees a very large theater goer come in and he has trouble getting him in. And then the show starts. You have this very busted orchestra there. And like one person has a xylophone with pulling cat's tails. The other person takes out their dentures and messes around with them, which my kids thought was very weird. But then Mickey Mouse, it's like a very bootleg man, basically. And then Mickey Mouse decides to do a performance, like he does the entire performance at the Opry House. But what I like about it, actually, is the curtain says asbestos on it, which was not, I don't know if people realized how dangerous asbestos was in 1929, but I love that that joke aged like that. That's a meaner joke now than it was then. I actually appreciate that. I thought that was actually funny. I know that's like not what they intended, but it's funny that like this whole theater and Mickey Mouse is doing this whole performance with like getting asbestos exposure is like actually kind of funny. It's like makes it a little funnier. I know that's not what they intended to do at the time, but it's definitely how that comes off. Oh, William Owen says the song "I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy" is from the 1904 musical Yankee Doodle Boy, written by George M. Cohan, aka the man who owned Broadway, who defined pre-World War I musicals. Oh, interesting. Oh, Not Plausible saying stage curtains used to be made of asbestos so the stage lights wouldn't catch the drapes on fire. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, man. Anyway, I just think the asbestos thing is kind of funny, but that's anyway. So after he does that, after the thing, Mickey does a snake charming bit. And you see him do the snake, but it's not actually a snake, it's a cat's tail, because the thing falls over, and then Mickey does a belly dance, which is odd. It's just, Mickey does everything. Mickey does everything on stage, and then he comes back, plays the piano. The piano actually rejects Mickey. They go back and forth, and then the piano and Mickey take a bow. This one, I notice, I do hear about, like, this one seems to be brought up more because one, it was the first Mickey short where he wore gloves on. The gloves are only on in the title cards and in posters and stuff. This is the first short where Mickey wore gloves. So that's kind of a big deal. And it was actually the most expensive Mickey short at the time, costing $2,500. And they wanted to do more. And I think they did more with the sets. Like when you see the audience, like you can tell the theater's more creaky. You can get more out of the location. You get more out of the other characters. You get more in there. So I'm not saying what that Disney quote is incorrect. I actually think it is very correct. It is far more advanced in a lot of ways. Maybe not entirely noticeable. The only animator I see credited is Iwerks, actually, which, it's also interesting. It says a Walt Disney comic by Iwerks. So that's, I don't know. I notice I don't ever mention that. I like this short. I like it more than the Barn Dance. I've yet to see of these ones post the big three, those being Steamboat Willie, Praying Crazy, and Galloping Gaucho, I think are pretty, those are pretty great. Barn Dance wasn't as good. I think this is better than Barn Dance in a lot of ways, but I don't, and I think it's more like interesting. It sort of combines the fun that you'd see from Ub and those guys in the Silly Symphonies with Mickey Mouse, and it kind of shows you Mickey Mouse is far more adaptable, which is also something I've always liked about these shorts and even the newer Mickey Mouse shorts, because Mickey Mouse is a very adaptable character. And you can have fun with him and do all sorts of weird stuff with him if you want. And I think One of the reasons people like Iverse and what he did in his early years is he very much was open to experimentation and messing around and doing different stuff. And I think this showcases him more as an animator. I just don't fall in love with this more. It was the first time I've seen this one. The other three I'd seen many, many times. And the barn dance in this I've seen. This is the first time. But the first time I saw those, I really liked them. And these, I'm like, it's a fun installment, and I like the animation a lot, and I like watching it. But it wasn't as, I don't know. There's more to look at, there's more to think about, and I think the barn dance played a little more typically and simply, and this is a little more complex and is sort of interesting. This came out on March 20th, 1929. I think if you are enjoying the Mickey Mouse shorts and you like the first three and you want to continue, this is probably a better short to watch next to those than the barn dance. There's a lot more to watch. There's a lot more funny things. Mickey does a lot of crazy stuff in it, and it's fun watching animators have fun, and Iverse is one of the world-class animators of this era, and seeing him have fun with sort of his greatest creation is fun to watch. Is it as much fun as the other ones? Not necessarily. I would have liked to see him, parody in another movie or be on a steamboat or something. But this was a nice little cartoon here, and I had fun with it. It was a nice watch, and I think it is a nice little another nice little installment in the Mickey Mouse Shorts film series.